This Saturday, Ring of Honor and New Japan host their biggest show to date in the US of A. From the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden, it is the G1 Supercard. This is a combination of both Ring of Honor's traditional Supercard of Honor event and New Japan's Sakura Genesis event. Let's run this 11-match card down. First up, the Honor Rumble on the pre-show. This will only air on New Japan World and or on Ring of Honor's Facebook Watch stream page. So far, only 9 of the 30 slots have been filled. I don't care who wins this one. Let's just move on to the next. Title for title. Winner takes all. Both the Never Openweight title and the Ring of Honor World Television titles will be at stake. The defending Never Openweight class champ from Chaos, the aerial assassin Will Ospreay, and on the other side, the Ring of Honor World Television champ, Mr. Athleticism Jeff Cobb. Ospreay owns a pinfall victory in a tag match over Cobb, which got him this ROH TV title shot. But Cobb demanded the stakes be raised that if his title was going to be put on the line, so should Ospreay's. Ospreay granted the request. But as to who wins, personally, I say neither of them do. Why? Because there's a certain Black Emperor who wants that Never title back. Taichi. And I'm going to guarantee this. He's going to come in, attack both men, and the match is going to result in a no contest. And this is what sets up Taichi versus Ospreay for the Dontaku Tour. Because he doesn't care about the ROH television title. He wants the Never Openweight class title. Simple as that, in my opinion. So both men keep their titles, but under dubious circumstances. It is not within their control. One of the only 2 non-title matches, possibly only 2 non-title matches on the main card. You have the Party Peacock, former Ring of Honor World Champion Dalton Castle, taking on a member of the original Los Ingobernables, El Toro Blanco Rush. Castle has been in a downward spiral since losing the Ring of Honor World title late last June. Almost 10 months ago. And as far as I'm concerned, that spiral is going to continue. Expect for him to get bull rushed by the White Bull. My pick to win, Roosh. Next up, for the Women of Honor World title, Mayu Iwatani defends against Kelly Klein yet again. This is going to have to be Kelly's last shot at Mayu. Mayu won the title offer at a live show in Miami, then retained at the 17th anniversary. For Kelly, it's either third time's the charm or she goes to the back of the line. And that's a situation that's going to play up in one half of our double main event. Excuse me again. But I say this time, 3 is the charm. Klein gets back what's rightfully hers, and that's the Women of Honor World title. Moving on. New York City Street Fight. It was an open challenge. Bully Ray versus the leader of whom many have listed the Plague, which consists of himself, the Briscoes, Shane Taylor, and Silas Young. Well, his challenge has been accepted by IWGP United States Champion and leader of Lifeblood, whose goal is to bring Honor back to ROH, Juice Robinson. If you don't know what Lifeblood is, this is a faction that debuted in Atlanta back in January, with the mission statement of restoring honor after the sickening attack by the Plague in Philly on the Elite, against the Elite, Best Friends, Cabana, Flip, Cheeseburger, Lethal, on the Elite's farewell night in the company at the end of 2018. And since then, Bully has been on a war path to get rid of all semblance of honor, whereas Juice is trying to restore it. Lifeblood, for those who don't know, consists of Hot Sauce himself, Hot Sauce Tracy Williams, Bandito, Mark the Brass Haskins, Juice's tag partner in New Japan, Dave Finlay, and originally Tennille Dashwood. But Dashwood was amicably released from her contract with ROH, so she's probably going to All Elite Wrestling. And Finlay is on the shelf till at least August. He is on the shelf till around August, after the G1 climax. And with a shoulder injury that he suffered during the Honor Rising tour. And I'm praying Juice isn't... and Juice has already gone through a war in the past month, fending off Chase Owens from taking the IWGP US title off him. And I pray to God that he's not gullible enough to be goaded by Bully into putting his US title on the line. Because if he is, then Bully's walking out the US champ. If he's not, Juice wins. But either way, I'm praying Juice wins that match. Because then Bully will whine and complain about it until we get so fed up with it that the stakes get raised to their pinnacle. What stakes am I talking about? Easy. And to Joe Koff and Kerry Silken, both of whom I have met personally and talked to personally on a couple of occasions, I know about that no-cut clause in Bully's contract. But why not you have him put it on the line? Put that on his contract on the line. And here's how you do it. Best in the world. Plague versus Lifeblood. 8-man steel cage warfare. In a 10-man steel cage, in an 8-man steel cage warfare match. With the stakes as follows. If Lifeblood loses, they're forced to disband. But if the Plague loses, Bully's contract, regardless of the no-cut clause, is terminated. That's the only way I see you can get rid of him. Of getting rid of Bully once and for all. You gotta do it by the end of June. By June 20, what would it be this year for the event? June 27th, I believe? It would be June 27th? 7th or 28th this year? Best in the World would fall on? Yeah, June 28th. Get it done. We make that match happen, or build that match up by then. A triple threat match for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. The defending champion, Bullet Club's Bone Soldier 2.0, Taiji Ishimori, defends against CMLL's Dragon Lee and ROH's Bandito. On paper, it would seem Ishimori's boxed into a corner. He's got to deal with two guys to defend the title against instead of one. Excuse me again. But on top of that, he doesn't have to be involved in the decision to lose the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title. That's on the one hand. On the other hand, however, history plays into the Bone Soldier's hands. What history am I talking about? Easy. The IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship has never swapped hands at New Japan's biggest spring event, whether it was under the name of Invasion Attack, Sakura Genesis, or any of its preceding names, the names that preceded Invasion Attack for that matter, or under the new G1 Supercard name. And it's on that fact alone, I'm going to take Bone Soldier to retain the title. Well, at the Supercard. And then carry the title all the way to the Best of the Super Juniors. Into the Best of the Super Juniors tournament. Regardless of who comes after him, come the Duntaku Tour. And whoever does is going to lose to Ishimori. Whether it's in Hiroshima, or wherever they're going to hold, or Kumamoto, or in Fukuoka. Next up, another winner-take-all match, but this one, it's a fatal four-way for both the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team titles and the Ring of Honor World Tag Team titles. You have Guerrillas of Destiny and Villain Enterprises, the current holders of the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team and Ring of Honor World Tag Team titles respectively, defending their belts not against just each other, but former champions respective champions, Evil and Sonata representing Los Ingobernables de Japón and the Briscoes, those who were the former holders of the respective belts. Evil and Sonata losing the IWGP Heavyweight Tag titles to the Guerrillas of Destiny during the Honor Rising Tour, and the Briscoes losing the titles to Villain Enterprises at the 17th anniversary. This is going to be a clusterfuck, so I don't know which teams would walk out there with both titles. Which team is going to walk out with both belts. And the problem, and unlike the Never versus Television title match, there's no DQ in this one because it's a fatal four-way. DQs are out the window in this case. But either way, regardless of who wins and whoever wins is going to be strained to bounce around between New Japan and Ring of Honor like a hot potato to defend both sets of belts. And they're going to have to drop one at a later date, and drop the ROH belts back to an ROH team during the Global Wars, during the War of the Worlds tour in May, if it's a New Japan team that wins, and if it's an ROH team, they got to drop the tag straps come Dominion at the latest. They have to drop the IWGP heavy straps by Dominion at the latest. At least that's how I believe all this is going to play out. So who do I pick? I don't know. And let's also forget, Villain Enterprises recently captured the ROH 6-man tag titles. So that's 3. So if they win the match, that's 3 sets of belts they'll have to defend. And PCO and Brody would have to defend, along with Marty with the 6-man straps. So my pick to win in this one, as much as I hate to say it, is going to be God. G-O-D, the Gorillas of Destiny. And then we can get G-O-D versus the Briscoes one-on-one during the War of the Worlds tour. Or for at minimum, the ROH tag titles. Match number 8 for Rev Pro's British Heavyweight Championship. Representing Suzuki-gun, the champion, the technical wizard, ZSJ, Zack Sabre Jr., the challenger, the ace of the universe, the former 8-time IWGP Heavyweight Champion, Hiroshi Tanahashi. They both own victories over each other during New Japan Cup action. And Zack owns a victory for Tanahashi during G1 27. One that he couldn't convert to winning the IWGP Intercontinental title in 2017. But in any case, as much as I would want to see Tanahashi, the irony in this situation is, both times Zack has lost that Rev Pro British Heavyweight title, it's been the Japanese guys. He lost it to Shibata in 2016, and then he lost it to Ishii at WrestleCon, at Rev Pro's WrestleCon show last year, here in New Orleans. And Zack is also the co-holder of the Rev Pro British tag titles. So if Tanahashi wins this, not only does he get the Rev Pro British title, but he and whoever he chooses get ZSJ and Suzuki in a future Rev Pro show with a future tag title shot in his back pocket, in their back pockets. So as much as I love Tanahashi, in this case, the odds don't play up to his favor. I'm sorry, Ace, but in the Garden, you're going to have to just tap out. I'm taking ZSJ to come out the winner and still the Rev Pro British Heavyweight Champion. Next match for the IWGP Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. In one corner, you have the Golden Star, a constant nearly man for this title, Kota Ibushi. In the other corner, the only other man to have won the belt more than twice, the current reigning and defending IWGP Intercontinental Champion, El Ingobernable, the former Stardust Genius, the leader of Los Ingobernables de Japón, Tetsuya Naito. Ibushi got a major victory over Naito in the first round of the New Japan Cup to get this title shot. Naito is trying to rebound after an abysmal 2018, which saw him fail against Okada to win the IWGP Heavyweight title at Wrestle Kingdom 12, get a brief stint with the IWGP Intercontinental title from April to June, only to have that belt more or less stolen from him by Chris Jericho at Dominion, come up short in two-peating, winning the G1 Climax after getting beat time and time again by Zack Sabre Jr., until he finally put Zack in his place at Power Struggle to get an Intercontinental title shot against Jericho. and just recently win the belt back and weather a brutal storm in the form of Taichi and Sapporo last January. Just 3 months ago. So, who do I take to win this one? On the one hand, it makes more sense to take the belt off Naito, because him becoming the first man to hold both the Intercontinental and IWGP Heavyweight belts simultaneously, it would be a great feat, but it would put a strain on him. More so, we put a physical and emotional strain on him, and would make it worse if by G1's end, if he's still holding the IC title after winning the heavyweight title, it would mean whoever pins him in the G1 would be going after could choose which belt they want to go after. Which means he'd have to lose a boatload of matches just to get one belt off in order to keep the other. Just to get one belt off of him in order to keep the other. Which means his schedule from the end of the G1 to Wrestle Kingdom is going to be so loaded with title defenses. Unless he drops the IC title first. Which means he's going to have a shitty G1 Climax 29 if he walks into that tournament with both belts. On the other hand, Naito is looking to, as mentioned, to rebound. And what better way to do it than to not only hold on to the IC title until at least Dominion, and I'll get to why I say Dominion in a bit when we get to the final matches on the card. And beat Ibushi here to continue his upward trend to becoming a 2-time IWGP Heavyweight Champion. So, I hate to say it, Ibushi's going to fall short again. Naito retains the title in the Garden. Now let's get to the double main event. First, the triple threat ladder match for the ROH World title. I was really hoping this would be Ladder War 8, but not the case. In one corner, you have the new co-holder of the 6-man tag titles, the leader of Villain Enterprises, the 2018 Survival of the Fittest winner, the villain, Marty Scurll. In another corner, you have the man who is, for the past 10 months, nearly 10 months, claiming he is the real Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion, the leader of the Kingdom, Matt Taven. And finally, you have the defending champion, the man who has held the title, the current reigning and defending 2-time Ring of Honor World Champion, who has held the title for the longest time put together than anybody, and successfully retained the title more times than anybody put together, the franchise of the company, Jay Lethal. ROH's ace, Jay Lethal. Taven has been a thorn in Lethal's side since September, in my opinion. Displaying his own version of the title with purple leather, which was eventually destroyed, compliments of Lethal and Lifeblood, in Lakeland during a television taping. And personally, if they were going to do ladder war... Now, normally you would say Taven should be put to the back of the line. No. I thought he was going to win the title at the 17th anniversary, but they went to a draw. Scurll walked in and said he was cashing his title shot in at the Supercard. Well, actually said during the 17th anniversary press conference. But I digress. Marty has been biding his time. But again, he finds himself having to use his title shot in a multi-man scenario. he would have preferred it one-on-one. Well, he'll get that some point down the line. But here, he's not grabbing the brass ring. And Lethal, I hate to say it, Jay, I love you. I thank you for the 8x10 you gave me at Honor Reign Supreme and those selfies we did together, but hate to say it, but this Saturday, time's up. So yeah, I'm going with an upset special that I don't like. Matt Taven walks in challenger, climbs that ladder with aid from the Kingdom, and walks out the new and the 30th Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion. And a lot of fans in New York City are gonna hate the fact that a Beantown boy is walking out with the gold. It's equivalent to the Red Sox spanking the Yankees. And I hate to use that analogy because I'm primarily a Met fan, but I do have a soft spot for the Bronx Bombers. Finally, the main event for the IWGP Heavyweight title. In one corner, the leader of Chaos, the New Japan Cup 2019 winner, the Rainmaker, the former 4-time IWGP Heavyweight Champion, the longest reigning IWGP Heavyweight Champ, cumulatively and individually of all time, Kazuchika Okada. And on the other side of the ring, the leader of Bullet Club version 4, the Fox Okada let in the henhouse of Chaos 15 months ago, who along with the Rain-Taker Gato and Jado stabbed him in the back, hopped ship and joined the BCOGs. And the current reigning and defending 68th IWGP Heavyweight Champion, the Switchblade, Jay White. Okada is 0-2 against White. G1 28, when Okada was trying to hide a broken heart under his Summer of Smiles premise of his campaign, White was like a shark smelling blood in the water and beat Okada, but he did it dirty. Wrestle Kingdom 13, in a match that finished much faster than I expected, White beat Okada again, this time clean as a sheet. A month later, White beat Tanahashi clean as a whistle and won the IWGP Heavyweight title. Everything that White has said and done has come to pass. The Cutthroat era is now in New Japan. And as much as I would want to see Okada put this 26-year-old cutthroat rat in his place and beat Gato limb from limb afterwards, it's not happening in the Garden. As much as I would love to see Okada make it rain one more time and for the first time do it without Gato in his corner and become a 5-time IWGP Heavyweight Champion, and I really would love to see that happen, it's gonna hit a brick wall. And again, we've got to breathe with the Switchblade. Lock that up. My pick to retain the IWGP Heavyweight Championship is Jay White. Because in my opinion, here's where I was getting at with the Naito scenario. As mentioned earlier, Naito would have a strain put on him if he wins the IWGP Heavyweight title after retaining the Intercontinental title. Now, where does Naito fit into a feud with White? Well, whoever wins this match will have to... whoever wins Okada versus White will have to defend the title against the first runner-up of the New Japan Cup at Wrestling Dontaku. That man being Sanada of Los Ingobernables de Japón. If White beats Sanada, that's going to raise pique Naito's interest and draw him out. And that's what sets up Naito versus White at Dominion. It'll be a first-time matchup, and White won't be able to get under Naito's skin. As Bullet Club and LIJ, outside of the heavyweight tag title scene, have never crossed paths for any other belts. And if Jay wants to raise the stakes to make it title for title, so that he could walk out with both the IWGP Heavyweight and Intercontinental titles in hand, that's going to really stoke Naito's ire, and Naito is going to take the bait. And whoever walks out of Osaka-jo Hall is walking out a double champion and going to have twice as many losses than they would normally have coming out of the G1, which means double as many challengers. Whether it's White or Naito that walks out of Dominion with both belts is up in my opinion, I don't care. Because they're both going to screw each other over on a physical and a mental level event, more or less. Either way, my pick, Jay White, walks in and out of the Garden, still the IWGP Heavyweight Champion. That's it for my picks for the G1 Supercard this Saturday. I'm not sure if I want to do WrestleMania because it's a bloated a card that's even more bloated with filler and fat than this card was, which was lots of meat and potatoes. So I'm done. God bless. Goodbye. And good night. Bang!